welcome to Meanwhile in the Falklands, a podcast from FITV. It's week 127. I hope I'm remembering that number right. And I am joined on the podcast with...
Oliver. Hello. Hey everyone.
It's just me and Ollie doing the podcast today. Paula's busy editing the special FITV 10 years old programme. Hannah's gone off doing some errands. So we've been trusted to do this podcast ourselves. It's been a long while since we've been trusted to do it alone, isn't it, Ollie?
Yeah, it seems quite long. Well, it is a long time ago, isn't it? About 3 months when it was just me and you in December month.
Yeah.
Just doing the show and the podcast, so yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, we weren't even allowed to do the podcast for ourselves back then. We weren't trusted, but, you know, we've been given the reins back. But it's been a very exciting week. I think the two most exciting things have happened, and I can't decide which is the most exciting. Take a guess. The two most exciting things.
I mean, I guess the big thing for you this week has been the drag.
No, I'm not even talking about that.
You're not talking about that one?
No,
okay, that's part of our list?
No.
We've got so many things though.
We've got a list of podcast things to talk about, but the two biggest things that I can't decide which is bigger. One is we've all been vaccinated this week.
Yay!
But the second is we got new mugs. We got new mugs with our names on. I'm holding it up for the benefit of the tape.
We could put the picture up we could take a picture and put it up on the podcast. But yeah, we've got new mugs. I think the reason why we got it though is because we've also got new carpets, so we don't spill cups of tea on the carpets and things. So it's all been quite a new week. We've got quite a new things here in the offices, which is good. Yeah,
I think in the podcast last week we went on a mission to go and collect our new mugs, but they weren't available. But this week we actually do have the new mugs. They're great. They say FITV and they've got our names on. They're thermal. We can put them in the car. It's fantastic. Honestly, highlight of the week. Second only to us getting our vaccines.
I'm not gonna lie, because we've seen. It's weird. I don't know if you've seen it, but at the bottom, basically we have a tea stand, and then at the bottom of the tea stand, there's all the mugs of all the old FITV employees that were here at one day or the other, and they've just got the mug. And there's still names there that people haven't taken them home with us. But we seem to have got like a really premium thermal enamel mug, which is great, which is living the high life, I reckon. Yeah,
FITV's 10 years old and we get new mugs, so it all works out. But anyway, Ollie, so we had our vaccines done this week. The new vaccine programme for the 18 to 45-year-olds was rolled out. How do you feel since you had it done?
Yes, so I was knocked out, I reckon. So I couldn't come to work yesterday because I was pretty awful, but I prefer to have that than actually have COVID itself. So, and plus I want to travel. So yeah, I got my first dose, and then the next dose is in a couple of weeks' time, I think. So, yeah, it was quite a well organised routine. You know, you go in, you sign some papers, some consent form. The person that does it, and then you have to wait there for 15 minutes, and then that's it. You're pretty much free to go. So. Yeah, it was all right, but you also had your vaccination a day yesterday.
Yeah.
And you soldiered on and made it to work. So.
Yeah, well, I had mine at 9 in the morning. I managed to get through the day at work, and then the minute I got home, just fell asleep. But it's it's pretty good. We're quite fortunate here that we're able to get the vaccine. Obviously, that's really good. So yeah, it's definitely good that we've been able to get them, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I was just thinking about this because if we were in the UK, there's like a massive backlog of us going of our age group to get the vaccine, so we would have been waiting for a while to get the vaccine. So it's quite, we're quite lucky to get it here quickly, and there's been quite a good success in terms of people actually willing to have the vaccine. So fortunately, there might be a very, very high percentage of the Falklands that are fully vaccinated.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we've got actual figures yet of how big the uptake has been, but I think it's quite substantial, and obviously people getting their second doses from the other age group, that was last week, so we've got a big proportion of people now fully vaccinated, and sort of the younger people have just had their first doses. So yeah, it's all going quite well, I'd say. It's quite very positive.
But it's especially important for myself and you because we're planning to go back to the UK in a couple of months' time, to see family and friends and things. So, as in both of us on different times on holidays. But if we go there back to the UK and we have our vaccines, we're pretty much sorted to go out and actually, because I believe that they're going to stop lockdown soon as well. So it'd be quite nice to be vaccinated and go out into the UK, which would be good.
Yeah, that would be good. So yeah, that's the big news, which is so everyone's sort of been a bit zombified this week, I'd say, in the office, because we've all had our vaccines and all suffering slightly with the side effects. But we've all managed to soldier on, I think, and get through it, because very exciting, FITV is 10 years old today.
I know, it's crazy.
So we've all had to make sure that we're alive for the 10th birthday celebrations. So yeah, Paul is doing a big old piece about the 10 years, which is our special programme this week. So Ollie, how do you feel that you've been part of FITV?
Yeah, no, it's been quite crazy, isn't it, really? Because to be fair, we're the newest people from this date at FITV. And there's been so many people that have gone on and done some brilliant things, and that people have worked during the 10 years. And it'd be really, really great to see Paula's piece this week, because obviously she's been here for the entire 10 years. She's lived, breathed FITV for so long. And my time here personally, I've learnt so much already. I've done so many things here. I've had so many opportunities to go out and explore and venture into which type of media or which type of TV that I kind of like to produce, which is more wildlife and heritage short documentaries, and that's the kind of my niche area, I reckon. But yeah, no, it's been great, and especially for yourself, because you've been here nearly 6 months now, isn't it?
Yeah.
So again, you are the newest of the 10 years. So I mean, how have you felt?
Honestly, the highlight was the new mug. No, it's been great. It's been a really cool experience. So yeah, hopefully FITV goes for another 10 years. But yeah, no, it's really exciting, and obviously the special programme that Paul has done, it would be quite weird, I think, to look back and see how FITV used to be and how far it's come in such a long time. So that's
I
nice.
believe that me and you but I believe we have a blooper reel in there from our time on the sofa.
So many bloopers over Christmas. So many bloopers. The viewer, you will not even understand how long it took to film some of the shows over Christmas. Mainly because Ollie couldn't pronounce certain words, and then when he pronounced them, it made me laugh, and then we just kept making each other laugh. So it's like 20 minutes where we just couldn't even speak because we were laughing so much.
Sort of character building, but yeah, I'm sure it'll be in the show this week. So have a look.
Yeah, so obviously if you're watching on KTV, you can watch it because it will be the show on KTV, and viewers can also see it online because that's the programme we're putting out this week.
But you also did something quite special last Saturday.
Yes,
something that you haven't done before, and like I said, I know how hard everyone and yourself worked to do it. So can you tell us what happened on Saturday? And
well, listeners of the podcast will know because we've been talking about it for the past few weeks. But the drag show finally happened, so that was exciting. Incredibly nerve-wracking getting up on stage and dancing when I've never danced before in my life. Already gone on stage in front of people. But no, it was really good evening, and everyone did really well. I think the show went better than we could have thought it would have gone. And everyone seemed to have a really great time. So yeah, it's really nice. I'm kind of glad it's all over now.
Didn't you have a nickname though as well?
I was show girl number 2. So yeah, that was my name.
But are you planning to do any more of these big events in the future? Or
I can't say I have made plans for it. I need some time to recover, I think.
But just think about it though. For people that might be listening in, when you've never danced before, but when you're there in front of 200, how many people are there? 200, 300 people? 220
people.
So, you counted every single one. But
that's like how many tickets sold.
Is there any advice or anything, or just look straight ahead, or is it just carry on?
The show lights are so bright you can't really see the audience. I don't really know advice-wise. I don't know how I did it, to be honest. I managed to not run off stage before the curtains opened, so I'll take that as a success. I don't really know.
Well, I mean, it's a pretty good achievement. I mean, to be fair, I don't think I could have done that. I would have been more on the sound and the lighting area rather than being on front of stage. But it does. I've seen some of the pictures, and it does seem quite a good event and quite well attended. Yeah, no, it's really. I mean, it's a sold out show, and it's great because obviously, with everywhere else sort of locked down or struggling with the pandemic, it's nice that we're able to have
Pride in the Falklands. And obviously, I guess it's one of the only places in the world where Pride has been able to take place this year. So that's really nice. Really quite special that we can celebrate it. But yeah, while I was doing the drag show, Ollie, you were off gallivanting around another island. What were you doing at the weekend?
Yes, I've been to quite a few islands. I've got a few more in the pipeline as well. But this week I was at Sea Island, and I was laying down in penguin poo and cormorant poo and all that stuff, because there was 5 years ago, a former FITV employee, Caroline Scott, was here, and she covered the tussock planting at Sea Island. So I went along and wanted to see the progression of tussock grass in the at Sea Island. So yeah, I was there with 20 other volunteers pulling out tussock grass and planting it in new areas around Sea Island, which was great. But yeah, much more of a quiet weekend. But yeah, it was a great event, and yeah, that's peace for next week.
So did you get stuck in with all the tussock planting as well as filming?
Did I get what, sorry?
Stuck in with the tussock planting as
well as
filming it?
So it was, I filmed a bit, and then obviously I got part of it as well, which was great, and I actually learned how to do it and did a short little tutorial on the piece as well. So it was great, and like I said, there was 20 other volunteers that went out from Stanley and NPC, to Sea Island, and yeah, it was just a great little event. And then on the final day on Sunday, we got to go and have a look at the island, the beautiful elephant seals and rockhopper penguins and HMS Sheffield Memorial and things like that. So yeah, it was great, and there's a few more in the pipeline in the coming weeks. So yeah, it was really enjoyed it.
And so why is tussock grass so important in the Falklands?
Well, this is part of the piece. I don't want to reveal too much, but in short, it kind of helps combat the erosional processes and as well offer habitat and wildlife. So like tussock birds go there, Johnny Rooks go there and live in there, and sea lions live in there as well. But Sea Island especially had a big problem with farming back in the day, and not a big problem because it was economical, but there were a lot of sheep that used to eat loads of areas, and basically the areas now are barren and there's nothing there. So that's the reason why they call volunteers over to start planting tussock grass in these barren areas.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, that's kind of the major piece there.
So that's exciting. So the viewers tune in next week because we'll have all of the latest from tussock planting.
But talking of history though, you've also done an absolute epic long feature piece, which is quite a big thing in the Falklands, isn't it?
Yeah, so also on next week's show is a piece about the 125th anniversary of camp education, because that was celebrated this week. So we're not the only ones with a birthday this week. Camp education celebrated their 125th birthday. So camp education is the system where the children out in camp, so like settlements and farms, are taught. So things like travelling teachers or settlement schools, or they'll have telephone lessons. So that's been really interesting. I've interviewed some former camp teachers, travelling teachers, went out to the Goose Green School earlier this week, or was it earlier this week or was it last week? I can't even remember now. It must have been last week. Went out to Goose Green School and filmed there with the kids, and that was really great seeing how settlement schools work and how different they are from normal schools. And yeah, so it was all celebrated with an open day at Stanley House, which is the building where children, when they're about to start secondary school, children from camp will move there before starting school in Stanley, because camp education only does primary school. So yeah, that was really nice. It was really, really interesting. So the viewer can see that on next week as well.
But isn't that like one of your longest pieces? It was because you've done so many interviews with that, and you've done a lot of hard work with that one as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it's possibly one of the things I've interviewed the most people for. But yeah, so it's quite hard to chop down what I wanted in it. The trouble is, it's such a fascinating system of education. It's so interesting learning how it works. So it's very hard to pick and choose what I want to use from it. But yeah, so I managed to get something that is watchable from that. Not too long, don't you worry, viewer. And yeah, so then I think we've got a very interesting weekend coming up. Obviously it's bank holiday tomorrow, but then Ollie, you're doing something very exciting on Saturday, aren't you?
Yes, so so it's the NPC versus Stanley games, which is like I guess a mini Olympics between the two biggest communities in the Falklands by population. So every year the NPCs, so the military base and Stanley, compete in a variety of sports. And for the second year running, I've been chosen to represent the Stanley Bowls Club, which is something I never thought would have happened when I joined FITV in the Falklands, and yeah, so that should be good. And it's a nice little way because I was meant to represent the Falklands in the Island Games this year, but it's nice to still have that competitive sport here because obviously the Island Games has been cancelled and postponed until 2023. So I've been asked also to help out and umpire the matches as well as play. So yeah, it should be a good event and it should be really enjoyable to play, which I'm looking forward to.
Oh, that's good. Hopefully you win. Bring back some trophies for the office, Ollie.
Well, it's one of those because I remember what my first 2 months I was sent down to do a story on the bowls because it was a new sport in the island. It still is a relatively new sport. So I just practiced, had a go myself, and I was like, yeah, I actually enjoy this. And then I just started going every week in, week out. When I first started, I was not very good. And then I just kept on practicing, kept on, working hard at it. So, and then I managed to play in the tournament, finished third this year in the Open Championship, and then now I've been chosen to represent Stanley. So it was good.
Well, that's all very exciting, but it's not something you thought would happen when you came to the Falklands or were thinking about coming to the Falklands.
Absolutely not, no. But like I said, I think I've said this in previous podcasts, it's important not just to focus on... FITV is brilliant, but not just to focus on FITV, but have your own personal life as well. So, for instance, mine's a lot of sports and socialising. But yeah, it's I didn't expect it, to be fair. I expected to be playing football or something, but yeah. Here we go. Here we are.
Well, very fun. I think that brings us to an end for the podcast. So good luck, Ollie, in the Bifside Games. Hopefully in the podcast next week we'll be able to say that you won. But if not, then oh dear. Anyway, I think that brings us to an end of the podcast this week. We're going to go celebrate the 10th birthday of FITV, I think.
Yay! That should be fun.
So yeah, I think that's it for this week. You can watch the show. It's a special edition. It's 5/27. It will be online or on KTV, and it will be the very special FITV 10 years old celebration. So if you want to see what FITV used to look like or how it's changed over the years, then make sure you go and watch that because Paul's put a lot of work into it. So yeah.
And there is still a news roundup this week.
Oh yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, thank you for reminding me. We need to plug the news roundup. There's also a news roundup with some of the actual news that's been happening in the Falklands this week. So that will also be on SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, however you listen to your podcasts. We will probably be on there.
And there's a final thing as well, just to add, that I believe you've got your YouTube upload strategy, so there's quite a few articles that have been uploaded on YouTube as well, isn't there?
Yeah, so if you've missed anything, make sure you check out our YouTube page because we've got a load of stuff going up on there. So yeah, very exciting. So I think that's all for now. So bye.
See ya.